Welcome to the Atlanta Real, where real talk, real stories, and real life happens. We keep it real at the Atlanta Real. So, I am the host of the show, and my name is Adeline Kumar. Now, today we have a very beautiful person inside and out, and her name is Kat Thibault. So she is an energy healer who is passionate about studying deep and sacred healing protocols like restructuring the body energy field, an ancient Egyptian treatment that is considered one of the most powerful on the market. Now, Kat, welcome, Kat. We're so happy to have you here. Now, Kat, is your name Kat or short form for any other name?
Yes, my full name is actually Catherine. It's French. I'm French Canadian. I'm from Montreal. And thank you so much for inviting me, Adeline. It's a pleasure to be here.
So now you have a very interesting background. So I can't wait to ask you your first question. Yeah, you've already told us like where you're from. Where are you originally from, Kat?
Yes, I'm actually from Montreal. I'm French Canadian. My grandmother was part Native, so Native American. So I have a little bit of a background of Iroquois.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you're an energy healer. Can you explain what it is all about briefly to us?
Yes, before anything, I would have to say that I was a very gifted child. I had a very special sensitivity. I could feel people's energy when I was very young. And it's actually, yeah, like my gift was funny because I was very, very artistic, but at the same time, I would be like 99% on math. And I didn't have the profile for science, you know? So it's like for me, like it was more like a metaphysic kind of I was naturally understanding complicated concept, and I could feel energy. So for me, really, energy healing was an extension of math and science. And like I could say that my idol is Einstein, because I feel like he's so like his intelligence is really from left brain and right brain, and he was, for me, it was really like the definition of what I do as a work, you know.
You're my kind of girl.
Nice. Yeah, you are mixing the science with what you I love it.
My faith.
Yes. Well, yeah, I would like to add that my second idol, well, actually, you know, it's funny because we're all in social distancing right now, but I have a lot of experience on this because one time I was very sick, actually, and I'll explain this later. And I was put for 6 months on social distancing, and it was quite a journey. And right before I kind of distance myself, someone had told me to actually read this book. It's called Walking the Tiger, and it's from Peter Levine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it became my second idol. I mean, for me, this book became my Bible, literally, because it explained what is a trauma and why, compared like a wild animal, why are they immune to trauma and why adults were not. And that was very fascinating to me. And he started like explaining, you know, how energy psychology would be really the answer to eliminate the trauma from the body. And his explanation was that trauma is actually an energy stuck in the body.
Very, very interesting.
It became for me a real passion. Yeah.
That is very cool. And so you got that idea from this book that you read, from this Peter Levine's book?
Yes, Peter Levine is actually a PhD in, I wrote it down because it's quite something. He's a PhD in medical and biological physics, and he's also a doctor in psychology.
I see.
So he's got you see, he's got like a lot of background in
Right,
science, and he came to the realization like he's definitely the man in United States that is revolution,
right,
like he's a revolution as far as understanding trauma. And he started talking about the only way that we can actually eliminate the trauma from ourselves is linking it from body and mind. It's
right.
like body and mind. And it's a real passion. And since he's a scientist, he could not really go deeper on the explanation of shamanism and also like energy treatment. But he says in some cases, some of the energy treatment are actually the best to overcome a type of trauma. And it's exactly, I went on that route and started studying the ancient Egypt treatment.
So,
But not only that,
right.
I also do energy psychology because, you know, yeah,
Wow.
sorry, I'm cutting you off. I'm so sorry, Adeline. I think we have a bit of a delay in the so yes, I'm saying I do sacred geometry, like a sacred healing from Egypt, but I also do a very neuroscience brand new technique that is also the energy psychology.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went to school to study all this.
Yes, one was actually a initiative school. It's actually a closed school and it's very private, and I'm not allowed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm very, very lucky. I cannot believe I actually was invited to
Yeah, your voice is breaking up.
this. And the other one, oh,
Continue. It's okay. Continue.
okay. So, well, I was saying that yes, I study in this closed initiatic school, and that is all secret, and I'm not allowed to talk about the treatment because they're very powerful. I don't know if some people know Donna Eden. She's a top energy healer from United States, and I had the chance to chat with her real quick, and I wanted to know if she knew about these techniques. And she said, oh my god, girl, like if you had the chance to study this, it those are like the most powerful on the market and really really hard to find.
So, you also talked about deep and sacred healing protocols,
Uh-huh.
some kind of an ancient Egyptian treatment
Yeah.
practice. So, can you just briefly talk about that, Kat?
Yes, of course. Actually, you see, the way we have like, okay, we have like inner energy. We're starting to be familiar with like acupuncture, and we
Right.
with yoga we understand that we have meridians that are like actually line of energy in the body, and we know about the chakras, and so we're starting to be more and more educated on the different energy centers. The thing, there's like also a different type of sacred geometry, and when we go through a trauma, it's like if your house, if your energy is like the shape of your house, the not the shape, but sorry, the word, the structure of your house is blocked or missing a wall. So I'm capable to go and rebuild the missing walls, so you will feel more healthy
Wow,
and you will be,
interesting.
yeah, it's really wonderful.
So, how did you know about all these things? Like, I mean, I know you had a desire to, go and study all these techniques, but how did
Well,
you find out actually?
well, the truth is that I was suffering hell. Like I was really suffering. Like this, there was two things. It's when I actually experienced my near death. I don't know
Yeah,
if I mentioned it. I actually had a near death experience at age 33, and
that comes
after,
later. Actually, I'm going to talk. Let's talk about
yeah.
that.
So, but anyway, this kind of this the transformation that happened to me after that experience um, actually brought unfortunately, a lot of rejection from my partner. I was trying to have a family with him, but in 24 hours, he didn't recognize the person I was, and he rejected me. So I was very traumatized, and I didn't recognize the person I had become. So it's actually looking to find at answers that I got into this journey. And it's only after healing myself that I start feeling that this was my life mission, that I had to give back to others.
That's cool. So when did all this happen? Like, what's the time frame? 5 years back or 6 years back?
15.
15 years back.
Yes.
Wow, Kat.
Yes, it's
So
crazy.
I know in your bio you had said that you draw the problem in order to get people see their problem and understand themselves better. Like,
Yeah.
can you explain that better? I mean, briefly to us.
Yeah, that, I was an artist. I was a designer. I actually had a
Wow,
business in United States. In the
that's very cool. Mhm.
Yeah, it was fun. And when people come, and I have this thing I was saying, I have like these two brain, and
Yeah.
I realized that people do not understand easily what's going on with themselves. So I started to draw like what's their world and what's actually the structure of their energy. And I make like jokes, but like I bring a parallel to what it would be like a house with like no roof or no windows or the door always open, and people start to get it and they laugh, and now they start laughing at themselves and realize that how can I live with my door open all the time, and no wonder there's stranger coming in. And so they start to understand energy better.
Wow.
It's fun. I like this is my favorite part.
It looks like you're enjoying. I can see all the joy and happiness in your face. So,
Yeah.
uh, so you said a powerful statement in your bio that everything that you do is to reduce suffering and turn it into power. Like, can you touch on that briefly, please?
Yes, well, we often say that nothing just appear or disappear. It mostly transform into like something else. So like the whole my work, of course, it's like I want to reduce that energy that actually is the trauma. I want to reduce it as much as possible. But during the time, let's say maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you
Yeah.
add this energy inside of you. So this created an experience. And that experience, when you reduce the charge of that trauma, it's gone. But the experience, like you have a special like strength. And I teach people to use that strength to actually empower themselves to to use in their life. And yes, and I really believe that I that's my goal, is to reduce the suffering and use this as a kick, to feel better and to actually create in life.
Right. I mean, that's very good. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that. And
Yeah.
wow, now it gets even more intense that you've said in your bio that a natural death experience had triggered this passion that you're pursuing. Wow,
Yeah.
can you please explain to us on that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I didn't choose this experience. I
Right.
feel, I was 33 years old, and I just unfortunately lost a child, and I had some complication. I was very weak, and physically and mentally, imagine it was difficult. It was a difficult time of my life, and I was surrounded by forest fires. I was in British Columbia at the time, and one day. Uh, I just passed out, and I had a home, and I was actually changing all the beds, and I was like doing some
Right.
just housekeeping, and I fell unconscious. And actually I woke up only 3 days later with a big light. And there was no doubt it was like it's exactly what the people say, the light at
Right.
the end of the tunnel. But I felt like my tunnel was very small. I feel like it was right there, and it's really like it's like a vacuum. It's really pulling you.
Right. So you were 3 days in coma, you mean?
I think I was just unconscious, but I was
Right.
lucky that when I passed, when I actually left my body to go to the light, that
Right.
it's like dying, it's hard to
Right.
explain.
Mm-hmm.
But I was lucky that my dog had stayed with me,
Right.
and she started licking me until I start breathing again. So I was very lucky.
So how did you feel after you came back to consciousness?
I it's incredible. Like I felt like I was connected to every single
Right.
thing. Like I was one with the trees and the ants and the the air and the wind,
Right.
and it was like probably the best moment of my life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I really felt like it was paradise. Unfortunately, my partner didn't think that. He was a
Right.
type A person, like he was
Right.
working really big weeks. So unfortunately, my bliss turned into a nightmare really fast, and they actually probably created this journey I wanted to help other people.
Probably, yes.
Uh-huh.
So you said releasing emotional trauma is going to be a big part of your practice.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
so
Yeah.
can you tell us briefly how you're going to go about doing it if you want to, and what kind of people are you going to reach out to? Like, what kind of audience or what kind of customers or clients are you planning to have?
Yeah, I think for the last, you see, I've been doing this for like full time for 8 years, and I had big cases like I had people that wanted to suicide. I had people that did like the war, that went to war. I mean, I'm sorry. I had all kinds of very heavy trauma clients. Now I realize that with time and with years, not that many people focus on what they call the small t trauma. It's like
Right.
all of us have small trauma, and sometimes we're just not happy with our life and we don't realize the cause is a trauma. And so I don't need to have someone that actually went to war. I like to invite anybody that's just not happy or feel block in their life, because I feel like I will not make a difference the way I will treat the person. It's like for me that you have we often judge and as someone, and will be very rude sometimes to someone that say, oh my god, can you just get moving with your life, and we get impatient. But sometimes the person has an emotional trauma,
Correct.
and that is my specialty. I mean, I really like to focus on emotional trauma.
So, I mean, it sounds really cool. Like, if people who are watching and listening want to know how they can find you or where they can reach you, so do you have any
Yes, I'm actually this is
Instagram
what I'm doing right now. I kind of prep this. Sorry, it's
oh,
very basic.
at Thibault.com? That's your website, and at energy.im. Okay.
Yes, it's easier to go at energy.im,
Okay.
because it's going to be like Facebook, and it's the fastest way to reach me. And my blog is also going to be at energy.im. And I'm actually doing all the social media right now because honestly, I've been only working word to mouth until today.
I think that's
Mhm.
the best way of advertising. So,
Yeah.
what do you like? What do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah, I love that question. Thank you. This is fun. Actually, I see myself exactly the same for the most part, except that my dream is to have a house in the country, and with a tiny guest house where people can
Okay.
actually come and spend the weekend and get to meet me and get a
I
treatment
see.
from me.
I see.
Yeah.
That will be
And
cool.
yes,
And
because sometimes, I mean, I do a treatment. I have learned to do energy psychology online, and I do my therapies online.
oh yeah,
So I would say 80% of my work is online now. But the physical treatment, the one that's from ancient Egypt, it's actually on the body. And
right.
that, and I need, this is a physical, and that usually is when we're we know that there's nothing that can actually make us move on. Well, this is definitely, you know, a huge, it's like a huge help to get going.
So I'm sure that you have a great story, and I can see your passion in you even while talking. So I wish you all the best and all the success. And I hope I can have you on the show again. Thank you very much for coming on the show, Kat. So,
Thank
viewers, thank you for watching the Atana Reel. We believe that listening and watching to inspiring stories like these will open up your mind, will stimulate new ideas, and finally transform you to be a new version of you. So keep watching and stay tuned. Thank you very much, Kat.
Thank you, Adeline. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Hmm.